Hello, Christine. I thought about Vanjie while the intro was playing, and so I just had to.
Okay.
Fuck you, now I have to change it to pens for the rest of the episode.
I'm not a regular dad. I'm a cool dad.
Oh my god.
I hate you so much.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Welcome to the cup. I'm not going to do it in the Vanjie. We don't need any more Vanjie today. But welcome to the cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where the tea is piping hot. And oh boy, are we ready to spill this week. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh gee, oh gosh. I'm Logan Murphy, just a gay, here with my homosexual water bottle.
It's Brandon. I don't have hot tea, but I do have some cold sweet tea lemonade.
Good.
I miss Baltimore Bombshell, aka Jaye, with just a glass full of gin.
Because that's where we're at this week.
It's been a long weekend, and it's Monday.
Because it's Valentine's Day, and I'm single and almost 40 with 3 kids.
Oh boy. And we are here today to discuss RuPaul's Best Friends Make Him Laugh Southern Hospitality Rigged for Jorgeous race.
I love you.
Check out our Drag Race UK versus the World review that will go up days before this, where we call it where I called it RuPaul's Rigged for Bag of Chips race UK versus the World.
And I literally just heard that.
Yep. Yeah. Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
So we do want to start this episode with a surprise to Jaye, because somehow Jaye didn't see this. And a celebration of the third trans contestant currently on this season of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 14, being good old Miss Bosco.
Yay!
We love to see it.
Oh my god, that's so awesome.
It was.
Yes,
I was
Bosco
when I
made
read the
her
announcement. I was
this
like,
week.
yes. I'm like, it was like, I was speechless. But like again,
She did it. She did it in the best season 14 way. She literally was like, I guess this is a better time than ever to say it. I'm straight too. And I'm like, yes, period. Period. Yes. I love every moment of it. So yes.
Oh, that's so good. Good for her. Because
Biggest-
like seriously, for the fans out there listening in, a few minutes ago, Brandon was talking about the news that Bosco just shared, and then I didn't know what it was. And then Logan's like, we're just going to surprise you on the air. And then I was like, oh no, it can't be bad because I don't want to be upset. Okay, but this is good. I like this. Good for her.
We love it.
Like,
We love it. Also, I would like to once again honor our gone but not forgotten queen, Cornbread. Just to remember Cornbread every week. We have to, because Cornbread.
The cornbread corner.
But yes, episode 6, RuPaul's Best Friends Make Him Laugh Southern Hospitality Race, season 14. This was an episode of television that happened.
very.
I liked this season. I liked this episode.
This is the point of every season where I start to be like, okay, production, y'all are doing too much.
Yeah.
It's every season around this point, around when we get down to like 8 to 10 girls left, it's always at this point. So we come back into the workroom. Orion's story has ended. Bye, girl. And we lost Cornbread.
Okay. Cornbread, are you coming back? We need to know.
We would like a confirmation from World of Wonder or Cornbread herself. I don't know if we'll get that, but if she disappears off social media in a few months, we know why. So they come back into the workroom. Jorgeous is upset because she had a crush on Orion. And that's the only reason why she's upset.
I mean, Orion was very cute.
Yes. Absolutely.
Minus that raccoon hat.
I don't know. I was kind of into it.
I'm good.
I don't know what that says about me.
I'm good.
I mean, it's fine to like it. I just didn't like it.
Yeah. But we come back in and Orion is gone. They go to sit down and Daya Betty is bitter. And I hated the Jasmine in confessionals. Like, we might as well change her name from Daya Betty to Bitter Betty. And then I remembered about that woman that we don't talk about. And I was like, oh no. I had to think about her again.
Voldemort?
No.
No.
Basically,
Yeah.
From the Dragula. Miss
Yeah,
Bitter.
I don't. I've only watched up to like season 3 or 4.
Fuck, I forgot you didn't watch season 4. Oh no, then that joke went right over your head. Oh no.
I missed it. I'm sorry. Okay, just skip over Miko.
So instead, go check out our review from a few months ago of the Dragula season 4 finale featuring one Brandon Wu on the channel somewhere.
Well, Brandon's
somewhere available.
I'm watching.
Yes, I did cover the finale of Dragula, and once I heard that name, I was just like, oh, we're not doing this right now.
So for context, for anyone who doesn't watch Dragula, which if you don't watch Dragula, do it. But there is a person we don't speak of on season 4 of Dragula who has very horrible opinions about non-binary people, despite being a trans woman herself, whose name is Bitter Betty. We don't speak of her other than this moment. We don't acknowledge her existence, though she's popped up 3 times on my For You page, so I had to block her TikTok because somehow she ended up on my For You page. But yeah, we don't speak of this woman. We don't acknowledge this woman. Anyway, Daya is bitter. She's bitter Daya, because she has not gotten a win yet, and I'm like, girl, you were eliminated in your first episode. Yeah. If I was eliminated in the first episode and brought back, I would be reveling in the fact that I am safe every time I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I was going to say.
I have to say, and I'm going to bring up, but I was just talking to Brandon and Logan that there was a very good article done on the Vulture that got released this morning around like 6 a.m., I think, where they were doing a RuPaul's Drag Race recap. And they were talking about every year that it's usually always a New York City girl that's always the punching bag or made into being the punching bag or like the whiny villain of the season. And how in the beginning it was like assumed that Jasmine would take that, and then it's morphed into Daya. And it's a pretty accurate read. I urge you, if you read Vulture online, to do so, because I mean, yeah.
It's Daya and almost a little bit Camden as well, even though we'll talk about her result this week. Like, it's...
they bring her up a little bit, but they kind of like lay off, because it's really... Daya is like, oh, I'm not bitter. I'm not upset. Who was it that like flat out asked her? It was, DeJa Skye actually comments like, you were a little bit disappointed with being safe. And she goes,
yeah,
in quotes, I wasn't disappointed. Don't twist my words, bitch. But I'm pretty
good.
Talked, and the rest of it was no, that's not twisting words. You were actually pretty upset.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we'll talk more about good old Miss Daya Betty. I still really like her. Personally, I love Daya.
I like her.
But yes, we come back into the workroom on the next day. We find out that this week's Maxi Challenge is an unconventional materials challenge. It's my favorite challenge. Me
too.
I love this challenge, but this time, you guys, Michelle Visage is getting out of hand with this online shopping. And there's a bunch of random shit from Glamazon that she's ordered. And now you have to take all this random shit and make a look out of it. I will say, of the unconventional materials challenges that we've had, I like this cute little spin on it. Like Glamazon, Michelle Visage. Like, I liked it. Thought it was cute.
I thought it was a little bit like cheesy, but
I liked the cheese.
But I don't know if I like the cheese as much on this time. And I love cheesy and I love camp. But for me, I love the unconventional. So it could really be anything and I'd be happy. I thought
Yeah,
the whole like storyline behind it was like, okay, come on. Like, we're not kids believing in Santa Claus, who is real. But for the kids listening or watching.
Oh, yeah,
but
of course.
I loved it. I thought it was fun.
If there are
because
children watching this review, turn it off.
Bury that. Bury that.
But yeah,
Because I don't mince my fucking words, so turn it off.
I was just like overly like
Mhm.
serious about the glam or something, which I thought was kind of like dorky. But then I was also like, I love an unconventional challenge. They could literally do anything with unconventional materials, and I would love it. So
they could walk out in an unconventional diaper, and you would say, "Unconventional challenge. Your smile is beautiful."
Okay, so here's my one thing with this, and I don't know if anybody is going to agree with me, and I hope Brandon you will, because I feel like you and I see eye to eye on things a little bit. But not saying that Logan doesn't, but I like a unconventional materials challenge with a theme, whether it be like party favors or like what you would find in a cocktail bar or a hardware store. I like things that are a little bit more like themed, or the stuff is a little bit more like, it's like coherent, like the whole thing just sort of meshes together a little bit more. But with this one, it felt like some queens had a lot of fabric to work with, some queens didn't. So it really, I was watching this from a sewist perspective. I was like, ooh, they're really setting up some girls who pick certain boxes to do really well with having way more materials to work with, as opposed to others that have way more unconventional, not fabrics to work with. So I prefer something where like it's an equal playing field, where everybody has the, like, you just get what you get. But this one felt like kind of a little slightly bit disjointed. I like a little bit more of a coherent theme.
I can see where you're coming from. Yeah. I don't know how they determined like getting what items to get, because obviously this was like all random stuff that they just compiled, or it's Michelle's shopping list.
It's Michelle's shopping list, Brandon.
That part.
But why does she need like 8 mosquito nets?
Who cares?
That's what I wanted to know. Where is Michelle in this? Michelle, why do you need 8 mosquito nets? Somebody answer.
Why does she need PVC pipe then, Jay? Then I'm going to counter your question with a question.
Do you not know? I can tell you a whole list of reasons why you need PVC pipe.
And I can tell you a whole list of things you use mosquito nets for.
Okay, fine. We will educate each other.
Fabulous. Wonderful. Yeah, I didn't take notes on this episode, y'all, so this is going to be a little bit all over the place.
Which is okay, because we know how these go sometimes.
Yes, the biggest thing I want to point out is, why was no one helping Willow Pill?
Thank you.
I was so sad about this.
You know who would have helped Willow Pill?
Cornbread,
the snack chatan.
Cornbread, yeah.
Yeah, like I was so sad to see that. I was just like Willow's like poor Willow, like someone help her.
Someone help Willow.
I watched it last night. Like I came home from work, I took a nap, I got up, I made dinner, I watched this, and I like cried the whole way through over her, and then I went back to bed. And I woke up and I was so sad.
I feel like this is probably a better place than other places to discuss the Willow Pill of it all. We might as well just touch on it now. Stop the infantilization of Willow Pill, please. It's disgusting, and you're I don't even know if I'm saying the word right, but the infantilization of this person who has a disease as well. Rue, this is not cute. Fucking stop. Like, we had a few episodes where you were not saying the thing that we're not going to say here because it's degrading and dehumanizing and disgusting. But stop it.
Yeah, no one should ever be infantilized.
No. Period.
Ever.
And
I was so excited to see that there was a few episodes where her name wasn't done, and that, which is in the linguistics community is known as Mommy Ease, otherwise known as baby talk. Yes. But the fact that we had a few episodes where it was not done, and then all of a sudden it came back, and it was so frustrating. Like it on a linguistics level, that really pissed me off, because it comes back to the idea of like, there was an article or a research paper that I've been reading lately, over and over and over, because it's so good, about like women as dessert, and how like men will like use like certain dessert words to talk about women, and how like when they do it, they like slightly go into mommy-ese and like this infantilization and like baby talk. And it's like this whole idea of like demeaning women as like, and instead of an entity as like, as a fully realized, fleshed out human being, as like an object. And it's, for some reason, it's like stuck in my head, and I'm like really angry about it. So that's all. Yeah. That has nothing to do with anything. I'm sorry. That's just been back my head.
No, I love it. No, I love it. It's.
I mean, it's related, but of course, like not related. But yeah, it also comes off as very ableist. So
100%.
Yeah, and I just don't like it. I'm hoping I'm seeing this right, but I'm hoping that they're seeing that and taking that into editing for the next episode, because it's. I'm hopeful because they did that for season 12 for One Queen, obviously. So hopefully they try to like do that for the next coming weeks for Willow, because
and people were outraged the first time she did it, and they did nothing. Yeah. So now we're doing it a second time. It's like RuPaul needs to leave the show. Point blank. Period. It could still be RuPaul's Drag Race. Just have Michelle host it. Quite frankly, I feel like that's the best possible solution right now, because Michelle still has half of her brain left. Whereas RuPaul had too many coffee enemas, and she needs to get the fuck out. I'm sorry.
Oh, see, I don't know if I agree with that, because Waffles is eating a plant right now that he shouldn't. He's gonna throw up later.
No.
Sorry. Sorry, my cat's eating a plant that he shouldn't. Cat, stop it. But I, as much as like RuPaul's, there we go. He's pissing me off. With the infantilization of Willow Pill, and this has been done before. I really feel that if we fully censor those that we do not agree with, that we give them the power to never learn from their mistakes, and we gift them the, I'm never going to get this out right, I'm so sorry guys, but if you just ignore them or like shun them or like cancel them, you're never actually going to let them learn what's wrong. And I feel like if we do that by like getting rid of RuPaul, like how is she ever going to learn? No, you cannot be ableist, because, and one of the things I love about the newer generation coming up, because like, hello, I'm like tail end of Gen X. But what I love about the newer generations coming up is that they're a lot more vocal about this, where we were not allowed to be, because this was not acceptable. But how is she going to learn? Because she is like beginning of X, like
ancient
boomer,
ancient,
like, right?
She is a boomer. She is a boomer.
Yeah, she's a boomer, and I'm like the tail end of Gen X. So like, how are the old dogs going to learn new tricks? Old dogs can learn new tricks. We see it all the time. Michelle Visage is a great example. So I feel like if we just say, oh no, you can't be on the show anymore because you're this or that, she's never going to learn. She's just going to be like, oh, well then,
I think Ru should leave for separate reasons, but this kind of just compounds into my reasoning as to why RuPaul. I'm not saying she should leave specifically because of this. Yeah. I'm saying she should leave because she is beyond the point where she is capable of hosting and judging this show properly, as evidenced by this episode.
Well, I think it's evidenced by a lot of episodes, but we're also you're never really sure what the hell's going on inside somebody else's head. There's been some questionable decisions.
Fracking, that's all that's going on in her head. Anyway, not much happens in the workroom for the bulk of the episode. I'm gonna be very honest. Daya straight up tells Willow that she can't do a baby doll dress because Daya is doing a baby doll dress and wants to win this challenge and is gonna do anything in her power to win this challenge. And then guess what? She didn't win the challenge.
Spoiler
We'll talk
alert.
about it. And then the only other thing that happens is Carson Kressley comes into the workroom. And
try to give some advice, but not sure if it was helpful or not.
And RuPaul asks Maddy Morphosis if her pussy is on fire, to which Maddy responds, "It's warming up." And that is one of my favorite moments of the season so far, I'm going to be very honest. I died laughing. It might be also because I watched this Saturday morning at 3 a.m. and I was very delirious at that point.
You were delirious at 7 a.m. So
we're not talking about it,
not.
Jaye. We're not
But you were
talking about it, Jaye.
not at 3. So
Anyway. Oh, and then Daya asks RuPaul and Carson if there's anything she needs to change, and they say, "Oh, you're too much crystal method."
Yeah, okay, can I get your opinions on this? Like, what did you all think?
They're not the same fucking queen.
That part.
Y'all didn't. Okay, here's the thing. Y'all didn't do this to Candy Muse or Dahlia Sin when Aja is in their same fucking family, and let's be honest, they all have very fucking similar makeup.
Right.
And they're all from New York. Y'all didn't do this to Laganja when after Alyssa was on. Y'all didn't do this to any of the other family relations that have been on this show, but because RuPaul is still so hyper-fixated on Crystal Method and her fucking mullet, and the fact that she looks like El DeBarge.
Okay, so I was thinking back the exact same thing, and then I started thinking about what if it was all editing and we just never saw Ru talking about like the other girls with the similarities to their sisters or their mothers. Do you think that could have been in play? Because
absolutely,
like I always try to keep it in the back of my head of like editing does change a whole lot of our perspective.
Oh yeah,
like I don't think of them as the same queen at all. I do not think as Daya and Crystal as like the same queen. But then they were like showing the makeup, and I'm like, okay, yeah, there's a similarity with the eyes. But still, that's not enough for me to be like.
My only thing, and it's probably because of the area that they live in, is that they sound very similar. Their speaking voices are very similar. But I equate that to the area. If you listen to Daya Betty and then listen to Crystal Method right after.
Fine, but I don't.
Yeah,
there's some differences with the accent.
I attribute it to more being from the Midwest and being from the same area. And being gay, obviously. I don't attribute that to like anything like about being like in the same drag family or whatever. I definitely think there is a possibility that other drag families were mentioned, Jaye. I completely think that's a possibility.
Yeah, just edited.
But because of the edit we're getting of Daya Betty now, like you talked about earlier with that Vulture article, the edit we're getting is going to perpetuate the fact that Daya Betty is the same as Crystal Method. And at this point in the competition, Daya Betty is not living up to what Crystal did. Then again, when you look at Crystal Method's track record, she did not do great in those first couple episodes. No, and I could probably justify one or two times she should have been in the bottom before she was finally. Right. And so the thing is, it's like, she's not living up to Crystal. Well, Crystal also didn't do well at the start of her season.
Well, and so, because like we were talking about earlier, that, you know, in every single season, one gal is being made to be like, you know, the whipping post in the season, like
the delusional whipping post is kind of where
and it's usually a New York City girl, because the New York City girls always have like the bigger egos because they're in a huge ass you know, community, and they've got a lot of competition. They've got a lot of damn good competition. In some of the Midwestern smaller cities, there's not going to be as much. So I agree with that, where they're probably editing her a little bit more to be able to perpetuate that stereotype or that idea of like, she is the, you know, delusional whipping post of the season. But coming from this, from somebody who studies code switching and linguistics,
literally,
like, for me, I wasn't picking up on the accents, and I'll go back through and watch, because if you were picking it up, then I should have. So, and that's something that I failed on. But
I got it from the Meet the Queens, honestly, and I knew
Really?
Daya was a
Okay.
part of Crystal's family.
Then
And
I'll read again. Yeah.
It may have been preconceived notion, having known that Daya was a part of Crystal's family. That honestly might have been part of it.
And see, so yeah. Okay, no, I'll actually rewatch that, because it's probably something I missed. But that's really interesting that you bring that up. Like, because I didn't get it at all until it was brought up that she was part of Crystal's family, and then I mean, but which one of us had another sibling, either older or younger, that we were always in constant competition with? Like, that becomes always like a sore spot for those of us who have siblings. So like, I get that, and like wanting to be, just better than. I mean, we've seen that a lot with like the girls on US Drag Race and other international versions as well. Like, you always like, yeah, your sister did really great, but I'm also great in my own way, and let me show you why. And I think that it's possible that all the queens have previously that have been in like families with others have all been talked to by Ru or the judges about like what sets you apart from your sisters or your mother. But because Daya has become somewhat so unraveled in both the episodes and especially Untucked, that maybe the producers are like, well, let's just leave this in.
And I would like to point out as well that she is not the only Drag Race family relation on this season. No. Willow Pill is literally Evie Oddly's drag daughter, technically. Or drag dentist. I'm so sorry, Evie. Drag dentist. But like, they're related. So like, they're not the only connection. Jasmine Kennedie is somehow probably connected to a queen from New York. Let's be honest. Like, there's plenty of them. But no, everything you said, like, it was, I noticed it specifically with Jan on 12, and then 13, they did it to both Denali and Rosé.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
And it's like, and like, prior to that, I don't really, like, truly recognize that all too much in any other seasons that we've had. I know, like, Dahlia was on 12 was compared a lot to Aja. Candy on 13 was then compared to Dahlia.
Right.
Because she didn't acknowledge Aja because their house had split by that point. But it's like, she's not the only Drag Race family relation on this season. And it's so interesting that they have hyper fixated on Daya. My conspiracy theory still is that they're going to rig it to where Daya has a very similar track record to Crystal.
I don't think so. I feel like we're seeing her we're getting the edit that she's unraveling super fast, and she's going to be out the next episode or the one after.
Oh, okay. I think she either goes soon or she makes Final Four. And I don't think there's really
any in the next episode or the one after that.
I don't think Final Four, probably like close to Final Four. That's what I'm thinking.
Sure.
I know I was going to say for me, so fun fact, Daya Betty was actually in town in DC last week. However, I couldn't make it because it was the same day I saw Billie Eilish. So it was
you know, I would maybe pick Billie Eilish over Daya Betty. Maybe. I understand that.
But here's the thing, though, because I did have a friend who actually went to the show because it was hosted by Crystal Edge, who knows Tatiana. And Tatiana and Daya Betty both did numbers together, so that was something. And they said that Daya was lovely. So
I can totally see her being,
I believe that,
an absolutely lovely human being, and especially to work with and being super fun. I think in this kind of pressure cooker of a competition, a lot of queens, especially from cities where there's a lot of competition like New York, it gets in your head and it kind of fucks with you. Who was that lovely queen? Britta
Filter,
yeah, she was kind of in that in the first few episodes because she's a well-known New York queen. Like,
I knew of Britta for years before she got on Drag Race. Like, that's the level of like.
I mean, I'm from New York, so like I
Sure.
know about her, but like
I know a lot of drag
I haven't
queens
lived in New York since like the 80s, but like
Sure.
but like but it was getting in her head too. I mean, the New York queens have a lot to live up to because they have got such a high caliber of drag, and there's so many queens there, so the competition's so stiff. So you really see them get into their heads and really like overanalyze and just kind of spiral out of control. So I mean, I totally believe that she's like
Daya's
a lovely person.
Well, Daya's not from New York.
But she's oh, that's right, she's not.
Yeah,
She's worked a lot in New York though lately.
Probably.
Yeah, probably because of Drag Race going on.
Well, then I feel like all the girls probably cycle through all the big cities in their Drag Race like while this season is airing.
Yeah,
or whatever. Everyone goes to New York. Everyone goes to Roscoe's in Chicago. Everybody goes to like all the places. Yeah,
everyone goes to LA as well. So that's
Don't come for me. I'm very tired and I've been drinking gin for a while, so we're good.
No, you're good, honey.
That part.
Not you. Really... You guys are fine.
I mean,
sure.
Something I want to bring up too, because like with these queens specifically, the vibe is so different because we were so used to New York. The fact that we have one New York queen, like we're getting such a different vibe with these queens. Like
I agree completely,
and I can't tell if it's like a good or bad thing.
I like it. This season feels weirdly like, not that any other season has been like bogged down by anything specifically, but this season feels fresh and different in a weird way. It feels like, so if you go through like the cycles and like the eras of Drag Race, I guess you could say there's like 1 through 3, so like the beginning eras. Then there's 4 through 6. Then I honestly put 7 through 10 together.
Okay.
And then it feels like 11, 12, and 13 are their own little thing. And maybe we're getting into this Drag Race renaissance again with 14. And hopefully it rides out to 15, 16, maybe 17 coming all next year. But like, it feels like almost like a rebirth in a way that like season 13 wasn't a bad season.
Mm-hmm.
And the queens on 13 were so good. And we had such a dynamic winner in Simone. But it felt like the production was like tired, I guess, for lack of a better term. Whereas I feel like this season, I don't necessarily agree with the Daya Betty editing. I don't necessarily agree with the decisions RuPaul is making. But it feels like the show is almost different in that there seems to be a few very, very strong frontrunners. And then everybody else is kind of very much so in a very similar bracket. And there's no like lows, there's no high, like there's a lot of middle. Like if you had told me, I won't spoil the queen going home yet, but if you had told me this week, before, like having watched last week, if you had told me this week that the queen that went home this week, I would have been surprised.
Oh yeah,
because I wasn't expecting it.
I'm surprised.
But it feels like there's a lot of just very, very good Drag Race queens. Whereas, like, my point with Daya is, like, Daya is starting to fall into the category, for me, of, like, great at Drag Race, or great at drag, but not necessarily great at Drag Race because she keeps getting overlooked. And that's where I also feel with Kerri Colby. I'm, like, cementing it now. I've talked about it for a few episodes. I very much so feel that way about Kerri Colby. Like, she's delivering in confessionals. She had a lot of great confessionals. Her confessional at the start of the challenge about going to your stepdad's for Christmas and getting the electric toothbrush, but the label was scratched out so you couldn't resell it. That whole monologue for me sent me into another universe.
First of all, that's not my step parents. That's my actual parents. And yes.
Same. Oh, same. Absolutely. But like my point with that is like, I love Kerri and I think she's an amazing drag queen. I'm not getting a whole lot of Drag Race queen energy out of her. Whereas it seems like most of the other queens in this season have a lot of Drag Race energy, which I think is very, very different to drag queen energy.
I agree. Logan, that's exactly, that's perfect because there are just some people who are, I mean, every single one of the gals are amazing drag artists. They're amazing drag queens. Just some play the Drag Race a bit better than others.
There's a
And
formula to playing Drag Race. Like
there
Kimora
really
Hall.
is. There
Kimora
really-
Hall is one of the best drag queens we have ever seen on Drag Race. But
Oh my
she did not know how to, she did not have the Drag Race energy that was needed.
Right.
Tempest du Jour is one of the best drag queens we've seen on Drag Race. She just doesn't have the drag queen energy. Layla McQueen, Dax exclamation point, James Mansfield, though I would say James Mansfield now has a lot of Drag Race energy. But like, it's very much so like the energy you need to be in Drag Race. Some of these queens just don't have, and that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but then you're gonna be an early out unless RuPaul has some hyper fixation with you and brings you along to the end of the competition, bag of chips.
I was gonna say, I was waiting for you to bring that up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like that's the thing about this. Like, I think starting season 12 for me, like that's when I saw like so many great queens that I loved in the very beginning, and I didn't care about the booth list at all. Like, yes, it's tragic, but like if I can see you as like a good entertainer, like that's what I love about you as a queen. So like that's the thing about it now, because like I don't care who's a contestant really. Like all I care about is how well you can do, and it's really my thing about it. Like, yes, this season has been very questionable because I have a lot of biases.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I understand why. Like the second eliminated queen this season, it's like we didn't expect her to go that early, but she's still a polished queen in my book.
Oh yeah.
She's incredible.
Agreed.
Yes. You know who else is incredible? Our guest judge for this week, Taraji P. fucking Henson.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I feel like she was so under-edited. I don't know if anyone else agrees. We did not get enough Taraji P.
Yeah,
Henson.
we did not get enough.
I
We
agree.
needed more.
Yeah,
we
needed more.
But she
Love
looked so
her.
good. Her titties were present and accounted for. So good.
She
But
just never looks bad.
no.
Everything about, I just love her.
I'm surprised it's taken 20 total seasons of Drag Race to get Taraji P. Henson on.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So-
Ever since that Empire challenge in season 8,
Uh,
like why wasn't it like much sooner? Like, come on.
Exactly.
Truly.
Why wasn't she on that as a judge?
Thank you.
They didn't have the budget because they were still on Logo. So
That's tea. They were still on Logo.
Yeah, that's true. Brennan's
But,
right.
yes.
That's true.
Shall we dive into the looks?
yes.
Fabulous. So yes, the category for the week is Glamazon Prime. They made these looks. Can we believe that Lady Camden made this look?
She looks so good. Also, I love the fact that, I mean, Carson and Rue gave her the comment that like maybe they should paint her lips a little bit bigger to like match the other features of her face, which worked so beautiful. She looked so beautiful. It worked. It was the right move. She looked great.
Yes.
Yeah,
Completely
Camden
agree.
took the advice and delivered a great runway, and I was so happy for this.
Thank God she was in the top, because I'm truly convinced that RuPaul is just picking names out of a hat to decide who's where at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this look was incredible. The fact that she made the bodice out of a kiddie pool, that's incredible.
So good.
Like,
That fringe detail, like,
yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do that. I would not be able to do that.
No.
I'm not crafty either. Like, and this is like, oh, that actually looks good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Should have won.
Should've
Anyway.
won. Mhm.
Jazz, oh boy.
I thought
Jasmine Kennedie.
really beautiful. I thought her face looked stunning. I didn't hate the outfit as she was walking out, and then she got to the end of the runway, and then it looked like the crotch situation was really down very, very low, like somebody had not tucked, and it was just so off-putting in my mind that I could not get past that. So everything was just like that. I don't know if I agree with some of the judges' with Carson saying, "Oh, the earrings and the hat are too much. You should have lost them." For me, I was like, I think it goes with the outfit, but it was a crop situation I could not get over. Her face looked beautiful though, and I liked her hair for this. I got the woman that she's going for. So that's
I don't think this was one of the worst looks of the week. I'm going to be honest. I think she was strategically put in the bottom two.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. Yeah.
I agree with you. The crotch situation was very, very, very distracting for me.
Okay, thank you. Somebody else.
But absolutely. I thought the construction of this was perfectly fine.
Yeah, I didn't think. Okay, I'm gonna bring it up later, but I'm just gonna give a tidbit now. I did not see much difference between this and the winners.
Oh, absolutely.
With the draping. So.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Oh, absolutely.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah, I think Jasmine being in the bottom two, spoiler, was very strategic.
Yeah, I didn't agree with it.
Yeah, I did not agree with that either. Like, I thought someone else should have been on the bottom, but we'll talk about that like once we get through everyone.
We sure will.
Should have been top, who should have been bottom, but
we sure will.
I thought this was okay. I agreed, like the hat wasn't great. I did like the earrings. I actually did like the earrings.
Yeah, I did too.
So,
any other season, she would have been safe. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But Daya Betty in a look. I'm gonna be honest. I do think Daya should have been in the top.
I'm gonna agree with you. I actually really liked this. I thought this was really well constructed. I feel like she had an idea. She went for it. It worked. Yeah. She stayed true to her vision. I think it looked great. The makeup was awesome. It was giving me a whole vibe. I really liked it.
Yeah, like the concept was great. Like that's why I thought that Daya was gonna be on top. But when I heard safe, I was just like, oh no.
Yeah, especially with the presentation with a puppet. It like
so fun.
A whole fantasy. It worked.
Well, my thing was, I don't remember, because Jaye, when we did the ball for 14, Daya Betty, I think, was my winner.
Yeah.
I believe Daya was my winner of the ball.
She was your winner.
Because she knows how to construct garments that fit her body and look good.
Yeah.
Like, literally on any other season of Drag Race, she would have had the storyline of, oh, this is what I do well, and then she would win. Was she my winner? No. Do I think she should have been in the top? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
But who knows anymore?
Like, here's the thing. Like, I can see why people say that this is still comparable to Crystal, but this is Daya. This isn't Crystal to me. This is really is not. Like, I don't know
Crystal.
Crystal
Method does not. Crystal Method does not have a monopoly on bright colors and big makeup.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Crystal Method. This is not me shitting on Crystal Method at all. This is me shitting on the hyperfixation of RuPaul on Crystal Method.
That part.
It's like, I don't... Anyway. Oh, boy.
Okay.
Oh, Maddy Morphosis.
Yeah. I have been trying to figure out how I want to, like, talk about this. I love Maddy. I really do. Because I often feel like it's a cisgender straight woman that I always like. I don't know. I just always feel like that I should be shamed for loving Drag Race or fitting into a certain like stereotype of like the ladies who go to the bachelorette parties at like drag brunch or something. I don't know. So I love that there's another like cisgender like man like doing drag, because I do believe that drag is for all. And I love Maddy for that, because I love Maddy bringing that fresh kind of perspective and difference to the community. I don't know if that's come out right, guys. I'm drinking a lot of gin.
Well, no. Well, here's what I would say. I've seen your pinup. I would consider you a drag queen.
Thank you. Some of my friends who are
Like-
drag queens say that I'm a drag queen.
You are. Abso-fucking-lutely you are.
And bitch, I padded on Saturday night, and I learned that from Drag Race because somebody's got to
go
even
follow-
these tips out.
Yeah, go follow Jay on Instagram and you'll agree. But like,
But I love Maddy.
Yep.
I love Maddy's story. I love that there is so much love, and not just tolerance, but love and acceptance, and
not from everybody, but yes.
yeah, and inclusion. And it's just like that to me, that's what drag is about. And so I absolutely adore her. I'm super excited to see her on this. But this look was terrible, though.
I was about to say, love, acceptance, beauty, love you, Maddy. This look was shit.
I got what she was going for. The thing is that I got what she was going for. And I'm like, yeah, I tolerate that. I like it. I'm here for it. It was still shit.
Yeah,
it was still bad.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I got the idea, but it's no. Like,
honestly, you know what would have done it for me? Just take off that bottom layer of the paneling. If she had made this cute A-line dress out of like scraps, and like that would have been a different silhouette for her, and B, I think it would have worked a lot better for this sort of like thing. The dress was just too long.
I think if she gotten rid of that, like, so there's the white, the yellow,
the yellow and orange.
If she got rid of the pink, the drop waist, if she got rid of the pink, like ruched, and just went like a gathered waistband into the A-line, if she had just gone yellow waistband and then the patchwork, that would have been fine to me.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. But like I got it. I understood what she was going for. I got it. It was I love her and I love what she's standing for. I did not love this look.
No.
Can we just talk about how that blow up doll was like the focus of the episode?
The blow up doll got more screen time than like DeJa Skye. Like what?
Yeah. Also, can somebody explain what was going on with his face? Does his face pop off? I don't understand blow up dolls. What's going on here? Why does it look like there's something on his, like a mask on his head?
Well, it didn't look. I don't think this was one of the sexual ones, because there are some of those.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, it didn't look like a sexual one, so I was very confused. Again, Michelle Visage, why are you buying this? You have a beautiful husband.
Oh, very beautiful.
Like,
but somebody slide into my DMs and tell me what's going on with his face.
Yeah, please, because I don't know.
Because then I'm gonna tell Logan.
Anyway, Maddy Morphosis, we appreciate you so much. But
I love you, Maddy.
Willow Pill in a look. You know what? Given what she had to deal with, this was good.
Here's the thing. Willow said that these were scraps, but the fact that the scraps were better than what everyone else picked.
We're better than what Jorgeous did.
I agree, Brandon. Yes. This I fucking love. She came out when she was talking to Rue and Carson in the walkthroughs about like what she was planning to do. I'm like, I don't get it, girl. What the hell are you doing? And she came out with this with the long, creepy, freaky arms. Obsessed. The only thing that I would have done to this would have been a complete fucking winner in my look if the skirt was like 2 to 3 inches longer.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, I got a puswacha. I don't want to see your puswacha. That's just a me thing. But like, my God, she looked beautiful. I loved everything about this. I wish it was just like 2 to 3 inches longer in the skirt because it was riding up. And obviously that material is not easy to work with. Yeah. Obsessed with the arms. I thought it was so good.
Mm-hmm. If anyone is familiar with video games as I am, these arms remind me of, this may be spoilers, but it's a big concept of this game, Little Nightmares 2.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Which I was like,
Absolutely.
yes.
Yeah, Brandon, I'm with you on that. I haven't played the game, but I know the reference. So yeah, no.
Yeah,
I
those
completely
long
agree.
arms. I was just like, is that Little Nightmares too? Because I've yet to play it too because I still need to finish one. But I just love this like overall like concepts. Like yes, the body itself could have been longer, but overall still good. Still good in my opinion.
And they closed up on her face and it was gorgeous.
Yes.
God, it was so good.
Another good look, Bosco.
Yeah, I'm really impressed that she made the pants out of that material, which is really, really hard to do. And she made a well-fitted garment.
Yeah.
I didn't love it, but I'm like, I understand the difficulty of sewing all this and what had to go into it. So for me, I was like, she did great.
It's good.
It's good. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, another polished look that I was surprised was safe. So.
I do think I would have put this safe as well, but like if there was a top 4, Bosco.
I was gonna say yes. If it were a top 4, yes, I would have put.
Yeah,
Bosco there.
she was top of the safes for me because it was so well constructed.
Yes.
For what the material is.
Absolutely that. I will say the only thing, having watched so much Drag Race, is in the unconventional materials challenges specifically, there have been a lot of blue and orange looks. I think immediately to Davina DeCampo. I think to Maxi Shield. I think to Lawrence Janey. Like, this has kind of been done. This color palette, especially in unconventional challenges, has been done a little bit to death for me. But that's the only critique I have. Because otherwise, I think it's a really solid look. So, DeJa Skye is up next. This was whelming for me, I'll be honest.
What do you think? Was it good? Was it great? Your best friend thinks it was good.
You know, he's running away from the look now.
No! Waffles, DeJa. Waffles, or DeJa, my cat loves you.
Yes.
God, that fuchsia on DeJa's skin.
Both of those colors on DeJa's skin.
Yes.
But that fuchsia just hitting, it was beautiful. She knows her colors. She knows what works for her body. She knows, I mean, she looked beautiful. I don't necessarily agree with the critiques about the hat and the fan like looking cheap. Because I mean, it's going to be unconventional no matter what. Like, you can do all you can, but at some point, like it is the material that it is. So I thought it looked great.
Because clearly that's spray painted. So it's elevated from what it was.
Yeah. What I did not agree was the fact that this was a bottom. Like, no.
No, I did not agree with this at all. This is
not.
one of my high tops for sure, because everything worked right. Her makeup was right. Her hair was right. The silhouette was right. The colors were right. The material worked. The accessories did. To me, this was like a high top, like one of the maybe safe, but like a safe
high top. That's one.
If there was a top 5, DeJa would have been in it. Is where I'm at with this.
Well, here's the deal: is I don't know who I would put. Like, I would probably put DeJa. I would probably put DeJa slightly over Bosco, only because the blue and the orange, I don't necessarily think when I look at DeJa, all of these colors and everything work for DeJa, for her skin tone and for her. The blue and the orange, I don't know necessarily work. Those shades, I don't know necessarily work for Bosco as well as these shades, these tones do for DeJa.
I'm going to counter that with that the construction of Bosco's look clearly had a lot more work put into it than DeJa's. Not saying that DeJa didn't put work into this, because she clearly did. But for me, if I'm looking at construction of garment, Bosco goes a little bit higher for me than DeJa does.
I can see that. Yeah. No, and as somebody who sews, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's just me personally.
She's so sweet.
I love DeJa. And honestly, DeJa's another one that's kind of getting completely under-edited.
Agreed.
And I'm like, I would bet good money she didn't get a single confessional in this episode.
I don't think she did.
Now that I think about it, I need to rewatch it now just because I'm just like,
yeah, me too. I'm kind of curious if anyone did a confessional count.
I feel part of me feels like she did get one, but I don't remember.
One.
Not enough.
I don't remember seeing her beret. That's what made me realize it. Is I don't think I saw her beret in this episode.
All I can still, and what's sad to say, all I can remember for DeJa from last episode was that moment with,
Oh yeah.
Which is so funny to me, which I loved.
Love.
DeJa makes me want to wear berets. I'm just saying.
Yes. Angeria Paris VanMicheals in a great fucking look.
This was inspired and brilliant.
This is drag.
I
very
fucking loved this. When she walked out, I was like, she made that.
I was nervous for her, and I think the editing kind of did it for me. I was nervous for Angie because Carson was like, that fabric doesn't stretch, and what is she doing with these things? And I was like, I gotta trust Angie on this one because I know she has been in the top every single episode that she's competed in so far, and we're in episode 6.
And I'm a little bit mad you brought up the editing. I'm a little bit mad with the editing because as soon as they showed that little, I'm worried about the stretch on this, she's got to take out the linings, and they had her coming down the runway, and I'm like, holy shit, she has to win this episode. And then spoiler alert, it didn't happen. I'm really mad about it still, but that's okay.
The regalness of the unconventional materials, this.
Yeah,
I'm surprised how this could have won. Again, this could have won.
This is incredible for one day.
Yeah,
holy.
Also this is very different, but yet still Angie. I talked about it a few episodes ago. I was like, I love Angie and I love her aesthetic. I just need to see something a little bit different from her for me to go all in on Angie. This is what I needed to see for me to go all in on Angie.
Stunning. So good.
She said, and she even said, I want to do something different. I want to do something more fashion. And that's exactly what she did.
This was incredible.
Truly. If she does not make top 2, I'm going to say it because we know it's going to be a lip sync, SmackDown for the crown, whatever. If she is not in the top 2 of this season, I'm going to riot.
I'll riot with you, honey.
Because she is, I'm going to definitively say, one of the best contestants Drag Race has seen in a very long time. And if, honestly, at this point, I'm kind of like, if Angie doesn't win the season, what's the point? It's kind of where I'm at this point. And everybody else on this season is phenomenal and lovely and wonderful. But
this is the definition of Drag Race energy here.
Literally.
I want this dress, but I'm too intimidated to sew this myself.
My only fear.
Incredible.
Yeah, my only fear in saying that she is the definition of Drag Race energy, because I completely agree. My only fear is a queen with a very similar aesthetic and storyline won 2 seasons ago. Are they going to let Angie win after having Jada win season 12?
Yeah.
That's what I fear. And if they don't, they've made the biggest mistake they've made in years.
She is just so incredible.
Truly spectacular.
I was right. The hair, and I generally don't like the hair like that, but that hair
I don't either.
So well. It was accessorized perfectly. Everything was so perfectly done.
Yep. Absolutely.
And was it Lady Camden who said, I love it was I'm sorry, it was Kerri Colby who said, I love Angeria because for being a pageant queen, she doesn't understand pageant queen stuff.
Literally.
And I was like, that's why I love her.
Yeah. Completely agree. Oh, fuck this.
Can I be honest?
I was about to be brutally honest, so please go before I do.
This is my least favorite look in the entire thing. And the moment she walked out, I was like, "Ooh, she's going home. This is the worst look of the entire night."
She should have been in the bottom 2, point blank, period. This is
awful.
bad. This is bad.
Awful.
I like Jorgeous. That's the problem. I really like Jorgeous.
I do too. Brandon, please, what was your thoughts?
I had a lot to say about this.
Please go on, because I don't want to.
Okay, so here's the thing about this. So, I was watching this in a Discord watch party. Everyone agreed that this should not have won.
This shouldn't have been anywhere near safe.
Like, we thought that this was going to be bottom. Like,
Right.
ooh, this is a very yikes. Like,
I will say, she had something else planned. She pivoted. I appreciate that there is a garment on her body that looks good on her body on the stage. Is this a good look? No. But I'm glad she was able to come out in something that at least looked good on her body.
I'll agree with that. But yeah, I'm agreeing with all your Discord friends, Brandon, because this was just... She walked out and I was like, there's nothing here. You just wrapped a bit of fabric around, glued some like cookie cutters to some fabric, made a belt, and there's nothing thought out. There's not the work that went into like Bosco's look. There's not the thought that went into, the colors work for her, but it's like, oh, you know what it is?
Oh no.
Ooh. This is, I want to be J-Lo.
Yep.
But I only make 35 cents an hour.
Oh no.
Oh my God, Brandon just, oh fuck, I just ruined this. Oh, we're gonna get so much hate mail. I'm so sorry.
I don't care because I love Jorgeous.
No, here's the thing. You're not wrong.
Oh, you're not wrong at all.
I'm just like, you went there.
No,
I feel so bad because I never want to be mean to another human being, and I'm being so awful.
I would like to emphasize once again, we all like Jorgeous.
Yeah.
We think Jorgeous is a great drag queen. The thing is, okay, I'm actually gonna save this comment because I think there's one more look. So I'm gonna save this comment until we talk about the results. So I'm gonna save this comment. We're gonna move on to our last look of the runway, which is Kerri Colby, who made a better bodysuit short dress situation than Jorgeous did.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit. I loved it when on the mannequin when she was describing it. I was like, oh, I love this because you can really see all the detail. On the runway, you couldn't.
Yes.
So it was losing it for me. I love her with this bluish hair. I thought that she looked gorgeous. She gave bad.
No, she gave me, and I'm curious if Brandon agrees with this. She somehow weirdly gave me Demi Lovato.
Okay, Neon Lights era,
I know,
yes. Neon Lights era, yes.
I thought literally Neon Lights era, Demi Lovato. I thought of them immediately, especially in the face. Somehow they looked really similar to Demi Lovato, and I was like, okay.
Yes, I can agree with that. I did not see that earlier. Now that I'm seeing it, now that you mentioned it, I'm just like, oh, okay.
Right?
Love that.
Right.
Love that.
I thought this was my bottom 3 look, unfortunately.
Yeah, same.
I agree.
I'm happy she was safe because I like Kerri Colby.
I like Kerri. Like I said, I really loved this outfit in the workroom on the close-ups, but you can't see all the work that she did on it on the runway. And that's where it sort of lost me. Because when you have like very specific textiles, if it doesn't read on the runway, it's under those lights and from far away, you're just not going to get it. And I loved it in the workroom. I didn't like it on the runway.
Yeah, especially this picture, like that blue, like on her hip, it does not go with it, unfortunately.
No.
Like everything else like works well. I think just without that blue part, like it would have work better. But like
here's what I would say. Honestly, I'm gonna tweak the look ever so slightly. I wish it was the blue on the boobs, the white like crochet wrap situation. I don't know if she had more of that material, but I would have loved the entire front of the bodice to be that white wrapped like yarn situation, and then take the blue part that's around the back, cut it in half, and make a peplum on either side of the hip, because that would have accentuated her natural like curvature. It would have been a nice color blocking sort of moment, and I think she would have looked a lot better.
I will say I think I can see that, yeah. And I like what I think it was it Carson who said it, that Kerri is so polished and such perfection. I will say, out of all the queens, she really, when you look at her on the runway and you look at her in the challenges, she accessorizes perfectly. It's never too much, it's never too level, it's just right. And she really has an eye for that, and what works for her and what works for the entire aesthetic. That is just really beautiful to see. And it's really, I mean, I look at her, I'm like, oh, I should do that.
And you know who I equate that to a little bit? Her mother, Sasha Colby, because Sasha Colby is the exact same way.
Oh, yeah.
Sasha Colby is incredible in styling, period.
Yes.
I see a lot. That's where I completely agree with you. That's where I see, like, knowing Sasha the way that I do and having followed her for years, that's the Colby I see in Kerri.
Yeah, she's just perfection with that.
Yeah.
Like, you never have to rein it in, you never have to go too far. Like, yeah, personality maybe, but like what she brings to the runway, never. It's just
she beautiful. Wore J-Lo's fucking Versace revival gown. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah. We'll talk about it later. I do fear for her next week. I'm going to be very honest. I fear for Kerri.
You're waffle.
But yes, so we get some results. We find out that the top 3 are Camden. Great. Yes, lovely. Angie. Yes, great, fabulous. Jorgeous. And then the bottom is DeJa. No. Jasmine. Compared to everybody else, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
And Maddy, who yes, sure. With DeJa, DeJa, Kerri, Bosco.
You said DeJa again.
Daya, Kerri, Bosco, and
Willow.
Am I forgetting? And Willow safe. We then find out Jorgeous wins?
What the?
Okay, so this is the comment I was going to make earlier. This now cements to me that Jorgeous will at least be 6th place. Regardless of how she does for the rest of the season. This cements to me that Jorgeous will not be eliminated until top 6 at the earliest.
I don't understand this. Why?
Because RuPaul loves Jorgeous. That's all.
I mean,
that's all it is.
True. I think Jorgeous is great. I love her as a queen. I think she's wonderful. She's so talented and gorgeous and funny and like fucking talented. But this look was awful.
Yep.
Brandon's
what were your top? Like, what were your personal tops like for this episode?
Mine was Camden, Angie, and Daya.
Those were mine as well.
I'm actually agreeing. Yeah, I agree with you guys. Camden, Angie, and
I would have given the win to Camden.
Same.
Camden or Angie, because honestly, they were both.
That could have been a tie. Yeah. That could have been a tie win.
Yeah, Angie was really hard to. Angie, I feel like Angie had a little bit more going on with like the construction of the garment, but I think, you know, RuPaul loves it when the queens take her advice to tweet things
Right.
about their appearance.
Right.
And Camden did that, and I was like, oh, Camden should definitely get that because obviously that's showcasing to Rue that, hello, I'm listening. So I was thinking, so I kind of was thinking Camden would get it.
We then also find out that the bottom two for the week are Maddy Morphosis and Jasmine Kennedie. And here's the other part of the comment I was going to make earlier. Because personally, my bottom two was Maddy and Jorgeous.
Same.
Jorgeous slays Maddy in this lip sync. You could have afforded to put Jorgeous in the bottom two again. Give her this storyline arc potentially in another episode. And get her win in an episode or two. Hell, I don't give a fuck. Rig it so she gets the next episode win if she does at least half decently. I don't care. This was just not the challenge to give Jorgeous the win if you're trying to propel Jorgeous to top like 6, 7.
It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, this was the most questionable judging I've seen, and I was
in years. Like, anyway, I don't want to talk about it anymore unless either one of y'all do. So Maddy and Jasmine are in the bottom two, and they lip sync to the first ever solo Beyonce song on Drag Race US. They didn't do it first because Thailand did it. But this is the first one they finally got the rights to in the US. And they lip sync to Sugar Mama, which is not a song I ever thought I would want to see as a lip sync song. And yet, I'm going to be honest, this was the best lip sync of the season so far for me.
I agree.
I love it.
Yeah, I was scared at first because, like, the fact that I saw Beyonce, I was just like, hello. Like, what? Like, I didn't expect that at all. Like, I thought we were just going to get, like, something else. But then we got Sugar Mama. I was like, this is a deep cut here. Like, how?
It's the only one they could get the rights to.
It was really good.
And, like, so I've seen a lot of discourse online about how Jasmine, like, assassinated Maddy in this lip sync. And I will completely disagree. I think Jasmine clearly won the lip sync. Maddy held her own in this lip sync in a way I did not think was possible.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I will say Jasmine emoted more, but it fit with her drag persona, her character, and Maddy did the same for hers. And so each of them were giving me their own drag personas throughout the lip sync. So for me, I didn't think that one annihilated the other one. But what the judges are looking for, I mean, Jasmine won. Also, like, I don't know. I feel like you have to be a certain type of queen to be able to do well on Beyonce.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be a certain type of queen to pull it off. I mean, that's probably going to give me some heat too, but whatever.
I don't think so at all. You could not have put two more disparate queens from this season in this lip sync.
No. And plus they already had that tension backstage too, so
which I'll give Brandon the opportunity to talk about the lip sync, but we can also talk about their Untucked whatever.
I don't have any more to say because you basically all said it. So I want to bring up that moment.
Please do. You go for it.
Why did they have to preview Untucked before Untucked was even a thing there?
Because no one's watching Untucked. Because no one's watching Untucked. Myself included.
Like, okay, like I'll be honest.
Ooh, not this.
It's empty, don't worry.
That's how Brandon felt after watching this Untucked.
Brandon was so pretty.
Here's the thing. Oh my god. Okay, listen. Like, I was just like, wait a minute. Are you that desperate to like say that, oh, we need to watch Untucked now? Like, are you serious? No. Like, here's the thing. It was the week that unfortunately Cornbread left and Orion was eliminated. I was at a watch party for that one,
Yeah.
So everyone did not care about Untucked because like they were about to get ready for like their next stuff after the watch party. So I didn't I finally watched Untucked actually yesterday for that episode, and I was just like, damn, I should have watched this, because like when Kerri talked about how cornbread was so special to her, I was just like, okay, maybe like,
Yeah.
and plus like it was a watch party, everyone was drunk and people wanted to like get lit afterward getting lit. So then with this one, I was just like, oh, you really want to bring that drama? I was just like, and here's the thing about that drama, it was not as dramatic as I thought it was going to be.
Thank you. Yeah, it really wasn't.
Logan, did you hear that?
No.
So I said so when they brought up Untucked with Maddy versus Jasmine, I was like, this is not as dramatic as I thought it was going to be.
Oh,
Yes,
absolutely not.
I was just like, yes, this was like drama, but not dramatic.
Go have your moment, girl. Go have your moment. And I was like
that was it. Like I was just like,
yeah.
Okay, like I understand that like everyone was like you want us to watch Untucked, which I get, but
because you're only getting half the story if you don't. You know?
Exactly, but like the thing is, like Untucked now hasn't been like what it has been in the past. Like, and if I'll be honest, I wish they kept that Untucked formula in seasons 7 and 8.
Really?
Where they kept it more personal.
Oh. Yeah, no,
like,
I get that.
No, because like Untucked was only on YouTube at that point. Remember that.
Yep.
And which I personally love, because I was just like, I really like this format. And then when they finally
I love that for you, but I'm certain you're in the minority.
I know I am. But like I know like some people agree with me about this, and it's just like I know like I love the more personal stuff about Untucked, and the fact that like there was this drama that was like technically needed, because like if this was supposed to be the whole Candy, if you don't have star quality, I'm like, okay, no.
Yeah. If they're trying, I just feel like, unfortunately for season 14, one of the things that season 13 did very well was Untucked.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it has to do with good old Miss Candicia Moose. Because we love Candy. I adore Candy. I cannot wait for the moment that Candy's back on television, because you know she will be. Mm-hmm. Personally, Candy for UK versus the World season 2, I think that'd be phenomenal. That's just where I'm at personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really wasn't, because I'll be honest, I didn't watch Untucked. I only watched the fight, because that was the only moment for me that really like stuck out at all. And like I had asked a friend, like, should I watch it? And they were like, you could, but just watch the fight, because that's all that really happens, and it takes up the bulk of the episode. And I was like, okay, sure.
But I will say my favorite part about Untucked was the fact that Taraji was able to talk to the queens, because I love Taraji.
Yes.
And like what I love about Taraji is like she just stays true to herself, just like keeping it real. And like I don't know the last guest judge other than Taraji like could give that same advice.
Gaga. Honestly.
Gaga.
Jaye, what did you do?
I'm losing my shit over here, guys. I just filled up my drink with more gin, and then I realized I had no more mixer left. So
no.
Is that sparkling water from Whole Foods? Because I have the same one.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's funny.
I love it. But no, so that's
actually
a good
segue. Hold on, I'll be back.
I'm so sorry. That actually leads pretty well into what my comment was going to be, going back to the lip sync, because I felt like in the first part, it was very like Jasmine had it in the bag. And the moment that Maddy was able to get a laugh out of Taraji P. Henson doing the like, come sit on mama's lap situation, that's the moment where she was like, wait, hold up. I've got a shot in the dark in this. And so that's really when you see Maddy ramp up. And at the end, you really see both of them truly emoting, like doing the damn thing. And so, like, I was thoroughly impressed with Maddy in this lip sync. Again, like I said, you could not have put two more I think, like, the only other combination of Queen, honestly, on this season that would have been more different would be like Jorgeous and Willow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, something like that, where, like, they're so completely different in what they do. And yet, for me, Maddy and Jasmine both did a great job. Like I said, this is, for me, the best lip sync of the season so far.
I agree.
Everyone online, and me included, is waiting for a Jasmine and Jorgeous lip sync. There's a Noodles. We love to see it.
Noodles, come over.
Yes.
Sorry. Can I agree with that? I'm waiting for the lip sync too.
Literally. I'm like, if it doesn't happen soon, I would be surprised because I feel like they're both on their way out here soon. I'm going to be very honest.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I agree.
But unfortunately, we lose the straight man. Oh no! I'm actually that was more sarcastic than I wanted it to be. I'm actually kind of upset to see Maddy leave, and this also gives me a little bit of hope in production, because knowing production and what they do, if they liked Maddy enough, they would have somehow propelled Maddy to top 4 based solely on the fact that she's a straight man.
You know, I was really hoping that Maddy would go a little bit further, solely because I feel that RuPaul has been very dismissive of
non-cis gay men.
Yeah, exactly. And I was really hoping that there would be some more representation from, I mean, obviously RuPaul's gotten a little bit better with like acknowledging the trans community, and especially like celebrating. Mostly maybe that was production or the audience. But I was really hoping that there would be more I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say something, but my brain is fuzzy.
I think, honestly, I can kind of translate because I speak Jaye.
Thank you.
The biggest thing is, like, I think Maddy had the capabilities as a drag artist to make it further in this competition over a few other people.
That too.
That's kind of the biggest thing. And like, if production had liked Maddy as much as other queens, then Maddy would have been Gottmik'd. Because let's be honest, I love Gottmik with every fiber of my being, and I'm so happy that they made the top 4 of season 13. But there were a few challenges Gottmik should have been in the bottom 2.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And if they liked Maddy as much as they liked Gottmik, oh, that's probably going to get me hate. But like, it's just like,
no, I know where you're coming from, because
with the non-cis gay people on the show, it's very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, and
that's where I'm coming from.
And we saw there. It felt like there was a little bit of a turning stone with like Victoria Scone, where all of a sudden Rue was like, "Oh, I get this. Like, I not only tolerate it, but I celebrate it. That you're a cis woman. You're doing this. Like." But I was really excited to see something
different.
Something different. Because that's really what drag is about. It's celebrating, the other, and it's or the not societal norm, if you will. Society be damned. Yeah. But so you saw a little bit more of a celebration with Victoria, and and with Gottmik, I was really excited to see, like, okay, maybe like Maddy can do something as well. But it didn't seem that while Maddy is a fantastic drag queen, it didn't seem that it was in the realm of what RuPaul likes.
Yeah.
And
even like
like she was picked as I don't want to say like a token drag queen, but like as
casting.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say that, unfortunately. I would go as far
upsetting.
to say that. Yeah.
It's upsetting.
Well, and I also think like along the lines of like Gottmik and Victoria Scone, like I also think Kerri and at the time that RuPaul picked the cast for this season, it was only Kerri. Kerri was the only trans woman on the season. Then we got Cornbread by the time the cast was announced, and now we have Bosco as well.
Yeah.
So it's like things seem to be getting a little bit better.
Right.
But yeah. I would rather focus, me personally, I would rather focus on the caliber of drag that is being presented. I don't care what you do in your outside life. Genuinely. Be whoever the hell you want to be. I think Maddy, based on merit of drag alone, deserved her spot on the season. It does feel like a stunt casting in a lot of ways. But I feel like if it was a true stunt casting, Maddy would have made at least top 6 or so.
Yeah.
And would have had more screen time on the season. So, I don't know. Regardless, I am upset to see Maddy go, especially given what the next challenge is. And that's also why I think maybe they pushed Maddy out the door, was because the next challenge is a campy comedy acting challenge. And I think Maddy would have excelled.
Oh, Maddy would have won. Like
she would have won this.
Yeah, the last, which was the Save a Queen campaign thing. Mm-hmm. Like
so good.
Yeah, she was good. And then of course the other the Super Tease too. She was also really good in that.
And I still stand by the fact that Maddy should have been in the top for the Super Teasers because I think she did a really great job.
I agree with that, yeah.
I just hated that they edited out that perfect line she had.
When I came out, my 2 dads disowned me. Like, that's perfect.
So
Hello?
Good. So good.
But goodbye, Maddy. We will miss you because your drag is great. And
it's wonderful.
Thank you for being a straight man in this community that is respectful of who we are as queer people. So thank you.
Yes, and that was very brought up in What You Packin', and I was so happy to hear that.
Yes.
And like the fact that like again the discourse between of like What You Packin' and of course Drag Race itself, I'm just like, why is the dynamic so different?
Because Michelle is hosting it, not Rue. That's why.
Like I just love like how Michelle's so nice about everything.
I love Michelle.
You know, she's definitely one that has grown on me over the years. Didn't always love. Do love now.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
Yeah.
I definitely get that. The early seasons when she started were a little rough, but she's gotten back to like wholesome, knows what she's there to do, Michelle Visage.
Mm-hmm.
And even in these more recent seasons where the judging has been a little bit questionable at times, you can see like when she was giving critique to Jorgeous this week, I could tell she didn't believe the words that were coming out of her mouth. And like she knows the situation she's in.
Right.
And I appreciate her for that. But
I'm curious though, what you all think of who is your front runner after this episode?
Angeria, Paris, VanMicheals.
Yes,
point
also
blank
Angeria.
period.
Mm-hmm.
My top 4 has honestly shifted a little bit. I think at this point my top 4 would be Angie, Camden, Bosco, and Willow. I think that's where my top 4 is.
I have Angie, I have Bosco, I have Willow. I forgot who I had for my top 4, like my fourth one, if I'll be honest.
I thought you had Kerri.
That was my initial. So like way like when the season started, like my top 2 were.
Well, it was Cornbread, but now I don't know who else.
Wait. Okay, so then who was your last one, Logan?
Mine is Angie, Willow, Bosco, Camden.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with. Okay, so I'll put I'll put Angie, Bosco, Willow, Kerri, and Camden are kind of almost interchangeable. I would love to see DeJa up there. I feel like she could really pull something out where we're not expecting it, and really just like wow us.
I agree. With the editing we're getting right now, unfortunately, I don't think she will.
Yeah, which is sad.
I think she'll get up there, but she's not going to make it all the way there.
Which is sad.
That's kind of where I'm at with DeJa.
Yeah, I like her a lot.
Yeah. I fear for Kerri in the regards that I fear for her in the next challenge specifically. And if she's in the bottom against any of these girls, she does not survive. And I love Kerri. But I don't think she survives after this episode. So, but regardless, that's what we think about RuPaul's Best Friends Make Him Laugh Southern Hospitality Race, rigged for Jorgeous episode. That one. But what do y'all think? Let us know in the comments of this video. Let us know on Twitter at @thecup_reality. Give us all your thoughts. Give us your hate. I don't care.
I care.
I'm a grown-ass human. I can take it.
I'm a grown-ass human and twice his age, and I can't be nice.
That's fair. Send the hate to me. I don't give a single fuck.
You can also send the hate to me. I've seen a lot of it on Twitch, so.
I'll hear about the hate secondhand, but I don't want it.
Yeah. Speaking of Twitch, go follow. Literally. Speaking of Twitch, go follow Brandon on Twitch because he's great. Go follow Jay on Instagram because if you like vintage, you'll like Jay. Go follow me because I'm gay. That's all.
And Logan's amazing.
That's all. With that, my loves, cheers to you all and to all a drag night. I don't know. It's not Christmas time, but sure. Cheers. Oh, goodbye. Goodbye now. Goodbye.
Vodka.
Vodka.